This is the massive live Ayodhya coverage on NewsX. Ram Dhoon is reverberating in Ayodhya and the entire nation. The Ayodhya Ram Nagari is decked up to welcome Ram Lalla into his home. It is a much anticipated wait for Pran Pratishtha, the moment when life enters the idol of Ram Lalla installed in the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Garbhagriha of the Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir. We have waited 500 years to witness this divine moment, and the world watches in awe and jubilation. This is Bharat Ka Punarjagaran, the Hindu Renaissance, a moment of India's resurgence, a moment that comes once in history and will remain etched in the annals of time. It is a moment of euphoria, a moment where truth triumphs over evil. It is the very ethos of Maryada Purushottam Ram's life, his journey. He is venerated as Maryada Purushottam Ram, the Purusho mein Uttam Ram, the ideal man. And that's what Ramayana teaches to the world: to follow the path of righteousness, to love unconditionally, to live a selfless life, the very secret of immense power and strength in the darkest of times. One does not have to turn an ascetic, shun all worldly pleasures, joys, happiness, enjoyment, and satisfaction to live the most virtuous life. Ram teaches you that you can be worthy, moral, high-minded, law-abiding, upright, and honest individual in your life, fulfilling your duties towards your father, your mother, your wife, your siblings, your children, to your subjects, to your kingdom, to your adversaries, and your friends. Today we celebrate this auspicious occasion with fervor and devotion, and let ourselves become one with Ram. I begin my telecast with getting you the flavor on the ground in Ayodhya. Joining me on the telecast are Nikita Serene, who's live in Dharampad in Ayodhya. I also have with me Parag Gupta. Nikita, I'm going to start my conversation with you. Of course, Ram Dhoon, the reverberation that has been sounded in Ayodhya for several weeks now in anticipation of this very moment of Pran Pratishtha. Give us a flavor of what's happening in Dharampad.
Well, Megha, we are continuously showing us the different flares of Ayodhya today. Ayodhya no doubt is freezing today, but singing all Bhakti mein, Ram mein environment all over Ayodhya, and people are eagerly waiting to witness this moment, auspicious moment today. Before adding certain things in my conversation, we have some guests with us. These all are the invitees who will be entering. They have been invited for Pran Pratishtha. क्या नाम है आप लोगों का? और सबसे पहले आप सभी लोग invited हैं. तो इस बेहद अद्भुत पल का बिल्कुल let's see. This is the invitation which everyone is receiving, the most VVIP guest getting the entry pass.
Yeah, Nikita, Dharampad, you're standing in Dharampad. If you could tell us the significance of the place that you're standing at, Dharampad, are there a number of dignitaries who have been invited for this mega event also going to cross this area before they head to Ram Mandir?
Yeah, we are standing. Currently, my location is at Dharampad, and this is the way straight away there. This is the path where VVIP guests will be arriving, and you can see the Sur Stambh here because Ram, if we talk about Lord Ram, Survanshi, because of Lord Ram, the Sur Stambh, 40 Sur Stambh have been created, the barricading have been made, and let's have a look because number of vehicles are coming.
Yeah, there are already convoys, there are already vehicles, there are these cars who are speeding up. And likelihood of a number of celebrities, politicians, businessmen, political figures. You of course have the public figures who are at this point of time trickling into Ayodhya.
Yeah, before adding some more things into my statement, I would also like to add comments. आज आप लोग प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के समारोह में इनवाइटेड हैं. साक्षी बनके इतने अद्भुत पल का मोमेंट का कैसा महसूस हो रहा है?
आज हम बहुत खुश हैं कि ये इतने सालों में पहली बार ये प्रभु राम अपने गर्भगृह में पधारने वाले हैं, तो आज हमें बहुत खुशी है, बहुत खुशी है।
आज ये जो कागज का टुकड़ा है कितना इम्पोर्टेंट लग रहा है आपको, जरा हम चाहेंगे एक बार आप दिखाएं भी।
ये कागज का टुकड़ा नहीं है, ये स्वर्ग में जाने की सीढ़ी, स्वर्ग में जाने का सीढ़ी का ये भगवान राम जी का प्रमाण पत्र है। अभी हमको मुक्ति की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, ये कागज हमारे लिए मुक्ति का माध्यम है और हम आज दर्शन करके धन्य हो जाएंगे और मुक्त हो जाएंगे। आज हिंदू समाज तो नहीं, पूरे विश्व के हिंदू समाज इतना खुशी का माहौल है, इतना दिल में हर्ष उल्लास है कि इसमें हम बयान नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, लेकिन आज का दिन एक हमारे लिए रहेगा और मुक्ति का दिन हो
Nikita,
जाएगा।
while she continues her conversation with the number of people who are present in Dharampath right now in Ayodhya, quickly also getting in my second reporter, Parag Gupta. Parag Gupta is also in Ayodhya. Parag, how's the environment? What's the fervor on the ground?
मेगा 84 सेकंड के शुभ मुहूर्त के लिए जितनी भव्य तैयारियां की गई हैं, ये तैयारियां बता रही हैं कि अयोध्या में प्रभु श्री राम का स्वागत अयोध्यावासी दिल खोलकर करने के लिए तैयार हैं और एक और दीपोत्सव की तैयारी चल रही है। जी हाँ, जनवरी में ही दीपावली का एहसास हो रहा है, क्योंकि 10 लाख दियों से आज अयोध्या नगरी रोशन होने जा रही है। पूरी अयोध्या को सजा धजाकर तैयार किया गया है प्रभु श्री राम के स्वागत के लिए। और आज चूंकि वीवीआईपी मेहमानों को आना है, इस वक्त एक बड़ा अपडेट हम अपने दर्शकों को दें। मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ अभी 5 मिनट पहले ही राम जन्मभूमि पथ की ओर निकले हैं, उनका काफिला निकला है। मुख्यमंत्री मंदिर की तरफ पहुंच चुके हैं और आज प्रधानमंत्री को भी पहुंचना है। प्रधानमंत्री के पहुंचने का जो कार्यक्रम है वो 10:25 पर वाल्मीकि इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पर वो पहुंचेंगे और 10:45 पर वो अयोध्या हेलीपैड पर होंगे और उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री का जो कार्यक्रम है वो शुरू हो जाएगा। मंदिर तक पहुंचने की जो पूरी प्रक्रिया है वो चलेगी। और एक बार तस्वीरें जरा आप देखिए, जो पीछे मेरे आप पथ देख रहे हैं।
Parag, हमारे साथ बने रहिए। Obviously, those are these majestic, beautiful visuals of the Ram Temple, Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir, where all the excitement has been built up over the weeks. Joining me also on the telecast is Sumit. Sumit, we see the fervor, the happiness, the devotion of all the people, not just across the country, not just in Bharat, but across the world, as it views in awe and jubilation this mega global ceremony that Hindus, in fact, not just Hindus, but Indians across the globe are celebrating. And the larger ethos that Hindus, that Lord Ram, that Ramayan spread across the globe, of the message of righteousness, of the message of being moral, of being right, of being virtuous, and following the path of dharma.
I think, Meghaji, this is a Earth event, because this will happen in the history of Earth once. Where on this Earth has this kind of a devastation happened, and peacefully, with consensus and without spilling a drop of blood or a stone being pelted, you are able to restore the glory, and the world has to learn from it that there can be peaceful solutions, there can be solutions to the disputes. You don't need to your power, you don't need to your sheer numbers, you don't need to, bully your way through. Still, you can solve a lot of things in the world. It is a movement because there is no king like Ram, there is no son like Ram, there is no brother like Lakshman, and there is no wife like Sita, and there's not a brother like Bharat and Shatrughan. So when you go through the Ramayana, what is the ideal world? What is the ideal life? How an ideal king should be? How an ideal Shasan should run? How are you able to hold your father's word and leave a kingdom and go to a forest? And why should your wife accompany you? Why should your brother accompany you? Why should another brother who was trying to get the throne don't take the throne, but put your khadao on the throne and sleep below the throne and wait for one brother to come? If these things of virtuousness and righteousness go across the world, but unfortunately what we have been taught is only Babur, Jahangir and Aurangzeb. We never were taught about Chola, Chalukyas and homes. We were never taught about the relevance of Ramayana. We were never taught about what the real Ram Raja is about. Now the world has to see what is the ideal way of living. because Sanatan is a way of life. You can have a faith in Christianity, you can be a Muslim, but still you can be Sanatani. How Sanatan and spirituality can embark your life, and how spirituality and sustainability are the synonyms. Because without spirituality, without right and wrong, this earth has become really a typical Kali Yuga, wherein people have all kinds of fantasies. We are seeing pedophiles, we are seeing sex trafficking, we are seeing sex slaves, we are seeing organ harvesting, we are seeing all kinds of evil. But in that thing, what is the beacon of hope which has survived the test of time? The only beacon of hope which has survived the test of time, where DNA is imbibed, where spirituality is imbibed in our DNA, is Bharat, where Bharat can give that spiritual leadership,
Yeah.
that leadership.
Absolutely.
And tell
Absolutely. When we talk about the triumph of truth over evil, the right over wrong, and Michael Sternfield, this is the message that goes out. It's a universal message. And as Sumit said, you don't have to belong to a particular faith to follow the ideology, to follow the ethos of Ram, of Ramayan, and what they teach you, which is a journey, following your life, following your thoughts, following your actions as per the guideline, the guidebook that Ramayan is. And when you teach Ramayan, when you spread the word of Ramayan through your Audio Ramayan organization, foundation, how is it that the world, their followers across the globe are perceiving it?
So I think what Sumit was just saying is absolutely true. And what you just said, Satya Eva Jayate, truth alone triumphs. The feeling, the possibility. Let's look at the bigger picture. People forget that Ram and Sita, avatars. They were avatars. They were divine beings, Godhead, who came down to earth to purify the world of ignorance, embodied by Ravana. So when we look at this idea of avatars coming down to purify the world, over and over again, through time immemorial, these great beings came down, usually during the time of the most trouble, the most conflict, to create from the imbalance, correct it to balance. And that's what we see now. And I think some of the discussion that we've had just showing that this resurrection or the reconstruction of Ram Temple has been from a level of peace and understanding and cooperation. And I agree with what Rashab said earlier about if they solve the issue in Jerusalem, they would deserve a Nobel Prize. Once again, here, India, Modi government, just what's happening here is deserving of a Nobel Prize. So what we learn, in answer to your question personally, is we've brought it up in many different facets. This idea through all these trials and tribulations that Ram and Sita went through.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. Like we say, Maryada Purushottam Ram. What it literally translates into English is the ideal man, the man who lives a very dignified life. And that is the very symbol that Lord Ram portrays to the world through his actions, through his thoughts, through the kind of message he spreads by way of his preachings, by way of his thoughts, by way of his actions. Alok Mehta, if we talk about the message that Ramayan spreads across the globe, and India, which is at a position, at a juncture where there is revival of Hinduism, there is renaissance, there is Punarjagaran that we witness of Hinduism. It has taken 500 long years for this moment to come up, for Hindus to celebrate this. But on a larger picture, if we take it, is also a Punarjagaran for Bharat to send out the message of what it stands for, what the world understands of Bharat, to look inwards into Bharat. We talk about yoga, we talk about spirituality. And is the understanding for the world now deeper of what Bharat, of what Hinduism stands for?
It's not only the Hinduism, it's about the Bharat. What in G20, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he started this Bharat, then even the political parties here were objecting also that why you are calling. But you see, all over the world, now people believe. Mr. Michael is also sitting with us in this program, and that's why you can imagine Mahesh Yogi ji, or number of people, they used to go United States from Swami Vivekanand, I should say, those time. But now Prime Minister Narendra Modi started not for the only Hinduism, but Hinduism taught for everybody, for human being. That's why Bhagwan Ram Raj, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, for health, for education, for the society. And you see the religious tourism, which will generate the economy, the Indian economy, not only the Ayodhya, but all over the India, in South India, or East India, or Northeast, or the Western India. You see, everywhere, the society and the economy, it grow with the people. And then all over the world, you see 100 aeroplane coming, aircraft coming, the airlines will come to Ayodhya, and then they will go to Tirupati, then they will go to Jagannath Puri, then they will go to Vaishno Devi, or they will go to Guwahati. So you see, can you imagine integration in India, and the same time, the faith about believe in people, accept those people who are not even the Hindus. That's why you see in Washington, you see the Elon Musk, what he did yesterday in the night. People are celebrating with light. Light is for clear the darkness in the society, the poverty in the society. That's why the Ram Raj we talk about for all over the world, not only for India. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, what Mr. Michael also mentioned about the Nobel Prize, I think the great prize in the world is to give good health, good peace for everybody. That's why you see now the
absolutely.
India.
You talk
the Bharat
about
is
Ram
now-
Rajya, and it actually, as you rightfully define, sir, that it is what the message to the world goes out. Light amidst darkness, truth that emerges victorious against the ills of the world, the evils of the world. Pathikrit, unfortunately, this term, Ram Rajya, that we use in terminology has been often misconstrued. And, when we talk about the lessons of tolerance, peace, tranquility across the globe, this is what Ram's Rajya is. And it spreads across communities, across faiths, across the countries. Has this understanding permeated into the minds and the awareness been created?
Yeah, I think that journey, Megha, has started. If I have to put it this way, India's political independence was in 1947. India's economic independence started around 1990s, but its true cultural and spiritual independence, the day of independence, is today, where this entire renaissance is starting. So it will take time to spread out this message to everybody who still don't have much understanding of Sanatan Dharma. But what the Prime Minister has done in the last 9-10 years in terms of making sure that everybody has a bank account, that everybody has access to quality hygienic toilets, that everybody has access, in a country of 140 crore people, that everybody, gets is ensured of a free vaccine, that 800 million plus people getting additional free rations during the COVID time, that you have taken all along to create the 5th largest economy of the world. That is itself Ram Rajya. That you have created this collective spiritual resonance in a country where there are so many fissures and fault lines which have been capitalized by vested interests for a long time to create divides. In such a country, to unite people and spiritually move everybody towards one, I think it's a great example of Ram Rajya.
Right.
I just want to add one thing to what Michael talked about, the avatar concept. Let me tell you this, in the words of Sadhguru, if I have to paraphrase, what Sadhguru says is that in this land, in India, our divine beings and avatars, if you call them, they were born as human beings, they were born in ordinary families, they lived ordinary lives, and they have evolved through times with such virtues that it became very difficult to distinguish them from the divine. That means that those virtues can be embraced by everybody. Ram, against all odds, remained calm during every, his life was filled with tragedies. And during those tragedies, he never cursed, he never regretted, he never got frustrated. With a calm mind, he faced every situation. if we can embrace that, the psychological issues that this era is facing of depression will be gone. And let me tell
Absolutely,
you-
absolutely. You clearly define, living the life of a human being, of a normal person who has not shunned the pleasures of life, the cycles of life, and still standing strong to follow the ideals of righteousness, of virtue, of being an upright, of being a moral citizen, and following his duties, and thereby setting an example and rising among the eyes of the people to be venerated and revered as a god. Also on the telecast right now with me is Suresh Krishnamurthy. He is a member of the Coalition of Hindus in North America. He is joining me from Atlanta, from a Ram Mandir. And Suresh ji, a warm welcome to you. And the celebrations that are taking place world over, and the Atlanta Ram Mandir, where you are the priest, is no different. If you could tell us all that is happening with the pilgrims who have gathered in large numbers in Atlanta as well.
Namaste, everybody. Jai Shri Ram. We are having a special program today. It's a Sita Kalyanam that is being conducted, and there are about 250 to 300 devotees who have braved really, really cold weather for Atlanta. It's now like 25 degrees, and they have gathered here. If you will give me like a minute, let me just walk over and give you a quick view of what is happening within the auditorium. So if your viewers could just bear with it, this is the Hindu temple of Atlanta. It is a Venkatachalapati and a Shiva temple. But so let me just show you exactly what's going on. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely. Absolutely. While you take us through this visual treat of what is happening, I'll come back to you, sir, and quickly getting in Himanshu, but also on the telecast with us. Now, Himanshu, when we talk about Hinduism, and there have been invaders, there have been murderers from centuries together, who ended up taking control, who ended up destroying the temples, it ended up destroying the history, the culture, the spirituality that Hindus hold, that Hinduism holds. And while there is the message of tolerance and peace and tranquility that is spread by Hinduism, this is also very visible in the actions, because in practice, Bharat has never invaded foreign lands. It has not conquered places. It has not conquered territories. It has not killed people. It has not marauded countries. And that's also the essence of Hinduism. I'm coming back to I'll come back to Suresh Krishnamurthy, and those are those beautiful, stunning visuals. Suresh, if you could take us through these sights and glimpses that we are witnessing. There are hundreds who are gathered in the hall. Can you hear us, Suresh?
Hi, yes, now I can hear you. I hope you got a quick glimpse of
if you could take us through the main hall of the temple once again, so that my viewers are able to view these grand celebrations that have already started at your temple.
Yeah, I will walk through now. You'll be able to see my...
Okay, so there you have it, a large number of devotees who have gathered. It's very early in the morning, braving the cold, as Suresh Krishnamurthy mentioned, and more and more people are trickling in, and this is in devotion of Lord Ram. It is in devotion and the anticipation of the great moment that takes place. And of course, there are the live screen that has been put up as well for the mega Pran Pratishtha ceremony that takes place. There are millions who will not actually be present in Ayodhya, in the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, to actually view this mega, very pious event, the ceremony, but they're still there virtually joining Lord Ram to show their obeisance, show their devotion to the God. All right, coming back to you, Sumit. Thank you, Suresh Krishnamurthy. I'll come back to you. Beautiful visuals. There are more celebrations that you say that are on the anvil as the hours pass. And Sumit, coming back to you. So we see a number of the dignitaries. We saw the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh who came in. There's Mohan Bhagwat who has just arrived in Ayodhya. There are a number of public figures that have gathered. So with the position that whatever God, whatever religion, whatever community you come from, this is a global event. This is also an event that unites Indians, yet unites Bharatiyas in the world.
The relevance of this event is signifying a way of life, talking about spirituality, holding on to the best of traditions and values, yet being a ruler, being a king, being a son, being a husband, being a brother, and yet setting the examples amidst all the troubles and all. Now, what we are saying that we could do this transformation by the law, following the law, without using brute majority, without blood and stones or anything of that kind, without blood being spilled. And we had the political courage and resolve to solve the problem. We didn't want this, we didn't want this sword to be lingering on so that it could be uncashed, the conflicts could be built around it. We have shown the world how do we solve problems, because Hindus as a Sabhyata have not invaded anybody, what you rightly said. Today, you see, when it comes to helping the world, we could have made $1 trillion out of vaccine. We did not do that. We are sending even relief to the Turkey. Well, Turkey is not our best of the friends. We have been talking of peace, not war, anywhere in the world. When it comes to Ukraine and the Russian conflict, we have been sending medicine. We have been not sending arms and ammunition. When it comes to, other conflicts, we've been trying to do reconciliation. We are trying to get peace into it. We are sending aid to Gaza. We are not sending rockets to Gaza. We are not helping Israel with weapons, but we are helping with whatever they need from us. This approach of getting everybody together and helping the world in solving the most complex problems is what Sanatana Dharma is about. And yet, we are showing we can be spiritual and we can be living in this Kali Yuga also. So along with spirituality, you can live with the Kali Yuga. The best example is Prime Minister. Yamapran, 1 coconut water per day, doing all the works, growing around literally the whole country.
Yeah.
1 coconut per day.
Yeah,
sleeping.
you're absolutely right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.